Hello everyone, welcome back to my video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how I push my box CC and my GP points as well, because you guys really enjoyed my video about how I level up characters, my guide and how I do it. But I thought I'd go over box CC as well, just to, show you how I do it, sort of thing. Firstly, we're going to be going over how much CC do you get per stat. So we'll use, what's the best example I have? Where is she? Diane. I need Diane. I need my Queen Diane, because she is the best example I have for CC in general. So, how CC works is it's pretty much based off of your stats, substats, and your ult level. That is what your CC here you see is based off of. This CC is not influenced by my box CC or my Constellations. But what this means is, if you today, a player, was to make the exact same Diane I have, same outfit, same gear, relic 6/6, your Diane would look exactly like mine and have the exact same CC. Your CC you see here is not influenced by your box CC and Constellation, but your character you see when you put them on a team is. What I mean by that is if I take this Diane, we'll go to a random team of mine. No idea what the hell this team is, but we're going to get rid of it. And then I was to put Diane by herself. 80,000. She gains 10,000 extra CC. As you can see here, she hasn't got a link, and if you click on her, she has 70,000 CC. So she gains roughly 10.5k CC from my box CC and Constellation, which you saw there. But you're probably wondering how much you get per stat. So if you were to buy outfits for CC, the best ones to buy would be the actual weapons and the outfits themselves. With attack giving a 1-to-1 ratio, for every 1 attack you get 1 CC. For defense, also giving a 1-to-1 ratio of 1 defense per 1 CC as well. With HP giving a 5-to-1 ratio, means for every 5 HP you get 1 CC. And of course, ult levels is 400 CC per ult level, meaning the difference between a 1/6 and a 6/6 character is roughly 2000 CC. So, for example, if me and you have the same characters, we have everything the same, but you only have 160 Diane, I have 660 Diane, I have 2,000 more CC than you because of ult level. And that is probably the most blurred bit of CC in general, is ult levels and how much you get from them. And then of course, the way I push CC, you guys know I make rare gear for characters. I'll use Terry here as an example, currently making some gear for Terry. I've got this piece here that I can just stay there. I don't know why, it's just a random spare piece I put on Terry for some reason, but it's going to stay there now until I find another character to put it on. But farming rare gear does take a little while, and, well, I don't know why he's got this piece on, but maybe I'll just put it on him for now. But I'm going to go over how much it really costs to make CC, to make gear, right? Because gear is more like making rare gear. It's not about, what your stage of game, are you a late game like me or are you early game? It's pretty much the same thing. So, one stamina pot, farming the highest level of gold dungeon, will be roughly 5 runs. 5 runs of gold is 500,000 gold. Like, I'm going to put that as like an average. Sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less. But what that means is for every 2 stamina pots is 1 million gold. That makes it a lot easier to calculate how many runs of gold you need to do and how many stamina pots you're going to use per, per relic you get. For example, if you get going for 1 relic, it's going to cost you 10 stamina pots. So you can so you know how much stamina pots you need to go through if you want to get something. That's pretty much it. If you're wondering how much CC I go for normally per character, let me find her. There's one character in particular. Of course, if you've got level 100 SA6s, you want to be looking between the roughly 40,000 CC minimum. So let me just find Miss Red Magelda. She's got 54,000, right? She's only got rare gear on. That's what you really want to do. She does have perfect rare gear on, but even if I was to give her half crappy rare gear, it wouldn't be too bad. You got perfect gear? No, you don't. So go through here. Give us a relic. 50,000 is good, but I would say anything above 40 to 50,000 is very good, especially if you've got you have every character in the game SA6 level 100. 40 to 50,000 CC per character isn't too bad. Best time to push for box CC is just January to start of March. I have it written down here. Because if you follow the pattern of banners over the last few years, you'll realize that start of January to the start of March are the dry seasons. So of course, start of January, you have global banner. You have New Year banner, and after that, it goes dry normally until the start of March, which is then global anniversary. And then the later on in the year it gets, the worse it becomes for pushing box CC, of course, until you hit collaborations, but collaborations is a whole different thing, which we'll get into in a bit. So, box CC in general, in my opinion, doesn't really get good for quite a while. So, say you're a new player, you know, you hit 500k, cool, you get 1.5% HP, which isn't too much. And then you reach higher and higher and higher, until like 4.5 million, you start getting defense now. Okay, and then when you hit 13 million, you start getting, oh, I'm not at 13 million. When you reach 13 million, you start to get attack as well. So you're probably wondering, when you start, let's say you're a brand new player, you just start playing the game, what is more important, box CC or Constellation? But there is one really big, well, one is very good, and the other one is like, it's kind of mediocre. At the start of the game, the one you really want to push is Constellation, mainly because Constellation just provides you a lot of stats. You know, Constellation completion reward, you get extra 100 attack and 60 defense, but you also get all of these sub-stats as well. And early game, it's really easy to get GP points. Every character unlock is 30 GP points. Every Super Awakening, every level up, of course, you get all these other ways of getting GP points. Outfits, and if you're a new player, you know, new banners, festival banners especially, will have lots of characters you don't have, as well as, you know, SSR tickets will have all these crap characters you don't have, you know, getting all of your SR and rare characters 6/6, you know, it's a lot of GP points, it's 15 GP points per character from 1/6 to 6/6, you know, there's a lot of rare characters, a lot of SR characters, that's a lot of GP points, and that means, at the start of the game, you can probably easily complete the first two constellations very quickly, in comparison to box CC, because box CC and Constellation go hand in hand. You need a lot of characters to get high box CC. The way you get lots of characters by summoning. When you summon, you get new characters, you get lots of GP points. And then later on, you can then start pushing them for box CC. So that's how it sort of works. When you're a newer player, is Constellation's probably going to be something you're probably going to be getting more than box CC, and that's okay. Until, of course, you start reaching like the end side of the game, then it'll be, you get more, you'll end up getting more like CC than GP points, because you already have lost the characters already as it is. Because mainly unlocking new characters and getting relics is probably the quickest way of getting GP points. Where I am, late game, I'll show you what I mean. Here we are onto the relic menu. And as you can see here, there are lots of relics. So the way, if you want to push CC with relics, and I say you only really want to get the relics, they're going to give you the most CC. Oh, no, you want to get the relics that you just want because they're good. You don't want to get all the crappy relics. You don't want, you know, nunchuck bonds. You don't want, you know, the C-stins, but you do want to get the good relics. Sorry if I keep pausing the recording, I'm not too well, and I have to constantly keep drinking to clear my throat, because I don't want to deafen you guys with clearing my throat. But when it comes to pushing box CC as well as GP points, getting relics that have multiple people like Barn here, yes, you know, Ray is Rag Barn, so it's kind of worth getting it just for the CC for Rag Barn, but it's worth getting these because, you know, let's just say the relic gives you, I don't know, let's say 1,300 CC. That's just me guessing. It could give more, it could give less. But you're getting 1,300 CC for all of these 4 characters. So then you factor in gear as well, you know, you get even more. That's why it is kind of worth it. You know, you have also like the relics that like a musket, like, you know, this Escanor, Goth is here, you know, you've got these musket relics, but there's also relics that you think, they're not really muskets, but they do give a lot of CC. Roxy is a very good example. There are 3 different variants of Roxy. And her CC, her relic is a CC relic. Means you get 10 GP points for unlocking it, plus you get a lot of CC per Roxy. Let's say you've got all of them now SA6 level 100 with half decent rare HP defense gear. You get a lot of CC out of that. And that's why characters like that have CC relics are kind of just worth leveling up and giving them their relics and decent rare gear just for the box CC alone. Whereas there are characters that like only have like a single person, like you have, you know, Marmus here's relic isn't really that worth it. You got Jillian's, it's not really that worth it. Twigo's is actually worth it, so that's a different one. But of course, you know, if you were someone like me, you're late game, I highly do recommend going for all the relics, mainly for GP points, as well for box CC, but mainly for GP points, because every relic is 10 GP points. That's 340 GP points you can earn from just getting all the bird relics. Factor in deer, that's another 180. Factor in dogs, that's another 130. Factor in Nidhogg, that's 120. Of course, I don't expect anyone to have every relic in the game, of course, unless you are maybe a whale, or you got really lucky with your summons, and then you just do every demonic beast, because theoretically I could only have 2 relics left. Well, 1 really, because I can't get the other one because I don't have Roxy. But, you know, going for these relics are definitely worth it, especially the ones that have multiple copies. CC, it's worth it. Of course, if you're early game, you probably can't do relic. You probably can't get relics, so just go for characters that will make your experience playable or much better. For example, like you've got Mageldas, you know, if you want to get rag bonds for CC, you want to get Nanashi, stuff like that, 100% understand. But then later on, when you hit like the later game, you really need to get these relics for GP points, because the amount of GP points you can be missing out on is insane. For example, if let's just say I was to unlock 30 relics, yes, it does sound like a lot, and it's probably, I want to say at least 3 days of straight farming, right? Which is like I would never do. But that would give me enough to then get one of these big orbs here, which are 300 each on my constellation. And if you look what constellation I'm on the 5th constellation. So I'm very far in. For a free-to-play player, I'm at 46%. Well, 99.9% free-to-play player. I'm at 46% through this constellation, which is a lot. Even some whales are just finishing this one. But that's because, you know, there's other ways to get, in my opinion, to get very cheap GP points. And that is if you go to starting rarity. This is something I always recommend. If you have a lot of resources, you know, you farm demons daily, you don't really have any characters you want to level up, and you're just farming just for the sake of getting more. I highly recommend Super Awakening your rare characters to SA6 and getting them all level 100. Because after that, after you've done all your rare characters, you then have no use for your rare pendants, which you think, oh no, well, what am I going to do with them? Well, when there's an event with the King Exchange, you can then trade them in for anvils, which then, of course, you could then use on your actual characters you want to make gear for. It is also sort of the same with SR characters as well. It's always good to level them up, because then that means you have no use for SR pendants, which then you can use for trading and for other things as well. But of course, when using SR pendants, SR characters from level 90 to 100 do cost SSR pendants, 2 for 5 levels, so it's like 4 per character, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it definitely can add up. But as you can see, most of my rare characters level 100. SA6, that's mainly because it's like CC points. Just CC and GP. That's literally it. It's the main reason. I do need to make, you know, rare gear for some of these guys, but you're mainly doing it for those reasons, and it's really worth it. But at the start of the game, 100%, you want to mainly be focusing on your constellations, because constellations at the start of the game is a big thing. And then when you reach the point where you've got a lot of characters and it's pushing CC again, and then, of course, eventually then you want to be pushing CC and GP when you get to, like, my stage, which is, I want to say late stage. You've been playing for a year, I'm going to say you're still relatively new to the game. 2 years, I'd say you've been playing the game for quite a while, and 3 years you're a veteran, because the game only came out, you know, nearly 4 years ago, so I'd count 3 years as a veteran player. But if you're a newer player, and just in general, you know, a person who likes to push for GP points, collaborations are the best. What I mean by that is you get 4 new characters on a banner. Not only that, they also have 4 relics, each of them not requiring you to farm a demonic beast, and are pretty much given to you for free if you just play the event. So what this means is every character is practically 40 GP points, which is a lot, even for me. For a newer player, that's even more. 40 GP points, you know, 160 in total for every character. And that doesn't include, you know, you Super Awakening 6 of them, you know, getting them max level, even buying their outfits if you want to as well. You know, you get all these extra things, which are really nice. For newer players, probably the most CC you're going to get are from festivals, because if you're a newer player, you probably haven't summoned much. Festival banners have a lot of, once again, festivals, but they also have a lot of seasonal characters that you probably haven't summoned for, you haven't seen before. So of course it's always worth summoning on them, but it's worth summoning on them for most players anyway, because of course the characters are normally completely busted, and the characters on the banner are normally pretty good themselves. But yeah, that's really it. When pushing for GP points, it's more about the stage you are at your game, same with box EC. If you're brand new to the game, you don't have many characters, there's no point in you really pushing box EC. If you've got, like, you know, if you haven't got like tons of characters, I have tons and tons of characters. If you haven't got tons and tons of characters, it's probably not worth you pushing CC. But if you have tons of characters, if you haven't got tons of characters, you're still in a very good position of pushing GP points, because you've got a lot of characters to unlock. You know, the SSR tickets will be more valuable for you, because of course the SSR tickets has so many characters on it. Yes, you know, each one of them, if you get 6/6 as well, unlocking them and getting them 6/6 is 45 GP points for just unlocking them and then getting them 6/6. And you think about, there's so many on this banner. And some of them are actually pretty useful. You know, like you've got Chandler here, you've got Arthur here, you know, you've got this Elate, which is still half decent. You know, you've got Tamiel, Sariel, you've got the other Tamiel, you've got Nanashi. You know, all these characters are half decent. That means when you get them, you're going to level them up anyway. That's even more GP, even more CC. But of course, newer characters as well will of course constantly have more CC and GP to of course push like sort of the state of the game, sort of add a progression. That's the reason why Alberta has so much CC, 69,000 with HP defense, which is a lot, especially at 3-6. She's on par with some festivals. Well, she's pretty much a festival herself in terms of strength. I mean, that's it. That's my rundown for, you know, GP, getting tons of GP points, getting tons of box CC. It's more of a game stage thing. Then you can like do it whenever. With GP points, you can kind of do whenever, but box CC is more of a late game thing, and is more beneficial for you late game. It's also beneficial for you early game, but I'd say you'd rather push Constellation early game because it's much easier to push than pushing box CC late game. I mean, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Goodbye.